So how many years did it take you to, when we were talking on the phone the other day, you were kind of sitting around that 2 million mark
Yeah.
and felt a little stagnant. So how long did it take you to get to the 2 million mark?
We got the 2 million mark. 2019 was 2.3, give or take a little bit. I don't know exact number, but 2.3 ish
Yeah.
that year. So it took us basically 3 years to get there.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking about this, like it was just an ongoing battle. Basically 2018, 2019, it was like we were fighting, digging, scratching to get to 2 million. And it was still always I felt like waking up was always a battle, and it was always a war. It was not just a war with the customers, it was a war with the team and stuff like that. So I was in the mindset, like, do we just keep this where it is and let it do 2 million? Hire somebody, we take a little bit less ourselves to manage it, so we have some sanity and really plug deeper into real estate. Come to find out, the problem was me. Like, hands down, somebody should have handed me a mirror and said, hey, here's your problem. And, I could have thrown it all away. And because I was cheap and thinking I was paying fair salaries or giving people fair opportunities. And the reality is we just simply weren't. That nobody knew really the vision. We had enough in place, but not enough. And we had some high-end people that were looking for jobs that were like, we can't afford that. In the hindsight, we could not. We had to figure out a way to afford it, is what it boiled down to.
I've heard that so many times from so many different successful entrepreneurs. Is they started with the mindset of scarcity and everything was seen as an expense. Then at some point, they started seeing their people as an investment.
Yeah.
And the more they could pay, the better it was going to be, because in reality, if you're paying more, it means more revenues coming in.
Yeah.
So, all right, you're at the 2 million mark.
Yep.
And you're feeling burnout. You're feeling like, hey, you should have pulled the Michael Jackson and been the man in the mirror kind of deal. So how did you get out of that rut and move it on up? Because when we were talking, you said currently, present day, you're around a $6 million company.
Right.
So what was the keys to that transition?
Well, the key was I don't know everything, but I know how to find it now. Basically being resourceful. I got obviously learning masterminds. I joined my first mastermind in 2018. And in 2019, I met Scott Hannes, telling him my struggles, telling him what we're looking for. Scott Hannes is with Fortitude HR Solutions. Not only a good friend of mine, but he has been we have him on retainage now as our HR director for MDG Flooring. His company specializes in HR management, recruiting, and just helping really structure your company with processes, procedures, core values, mission statements, really to bring your vision to life as a living, breathing thing. So getting to know him, we're sitting on, I think it was in Key West, and talking to him about, all right, now it's time to really bring you in on retainer. And me and Donnie are sitting there talking like, we can't afford this. It's $1,200 a month or $1,500 a month. And then he wants to recruit at $8,000. Like, how do we do this? And I'm like, how do we not at this point? Like, we got to change our mind. We're literally sitting in this room for 3 days. We have to do this.
Yeah.
Or we're just going to keep spinning our wheels and look at it. What's the return on investment? How do we build it? So we brought him in for 2 days and went through, literally dissected every little aspect of our company. Every position. We had people in the wrong position. We had positions we really didn't need at the time. And I made a new organizational chart and just reverse engineered everything. So yeah, at that point, we had him recruit a salesperson for us. So once we did that, we paid, I don't know, and I hate to say we're paid, it was investment, like eight or $9,000. He brought in a salesperson that he went through, scrubbed 60 different applications, got to 3, and 2 only showed up for the interview. That's how crazy this world is. We hired him, highest paid person I've ever paid for in my life on a salary. But this dude's 3rd month, he wrote $200,000 by himself.
Man.
By himself. Debunking all like the stories I heard from the other salespeople. Oh, we can't do this. We don't have time. This guy's doing it in 35, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Really changed the mindset for Donnie and I at that point.
He came in with that action. Did you have to, what did your onboarding look like when he came on?
Yeah, so we made a training schedule, and what we did is made a month training schedule. But one thing we did fail on with him is, one, we never made training schedules really before. We always just put them with whoever their manager was, but that was it. There was no actual written out training schedule. So One of the pros that we got better at is we made a month training schedule for him. The second thing that we made a mistake with him on is we didn't make a consistent routine. What does his job really look like on an ongoing basis? Basically, he helped create that for us without him knowing he helped us create it. That's just a strong guy. He's our sales manager now. He got promoted within his first year to sales manager. And, with that kind of mindset, and I always was scared of paying somebody a high salary because I'm like, oh, we're going to lose money. Well, now I just reverse it. Like, hey, what's the 3-month investment to this person? And are we giving them all the tools to make them successful?
I think that's where a lot of companies really miss it. They think, and I've been guilty of this as well, they think that they just didn't hire a qualified person, but the onboarding process sucked within the business. So it's like you having to it's like being dropped in the sea and saying, okay, learn how to swim.
Well, there's even more to it. So you look at from a whole business, if you're looking at the whole picture, if you need somebody because you're busy, well, how many companies hire someone where they really don't even know who their true customer is? I see that as one of the biggest issues. When you don't even know who your customer is, how do you expect your team to service your customer when you, the owner, don't even know the customer? 2, you don't have a routine for them. You don't invest time into training them. There's so many things I see missed with this. It's crazy. The other part of it is not knowing your customer, not knowing your vision, not giving a person enough leads to be successful. You see that in a lot of companies. You hire someone, expect them to write 50, 100 grand a month. Well, if you look at your marketing plan, your leads aren't even bringing in 25 grand a month. And so you're setting this person up for failure, not only them, but yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's just it's open door, a revolving door. They keep leaving, you hire. So you really, I think before anybody starts hiring, you got to look at truly your whole business model, create an organizational chart, and your name might be in a lot of those positions. That's okay. So you as the owner, what are you passionate about? Stay in those. And then hire for the ones that you're not passionate about when you can afford it. Focus on revenue generating activities and outsource the 10, 15, 20, $30 an hour jobs right now.
Yeah. So you said you paid the highest salary you'd ever paid at that point. Is all of your team on salary, then commission to keep incentivized? Can you tell us kind of what your pay setup is across your company and different positions?
Sure. So us being in the trades, most flooring companies, retail flooring companies, a lot of them, their installers are 1099s. We were too. We didn't have one W-2 installer up until 2 years ago.
And explain a 1099.
So 1099 is subcontractor. So for the difference of a subcontractor to a W-2 is subcontractor, it's by the job. You can't do it by the hour because you're not paying the benefits, you're not paying the taxes on it, the payroll taxes, workman's comp, stuff like that. You're literally outsourcing the job. So it is by a job, or it's supposed to be. Most people don't do it that way. We did that for a long time. It worked. One thing we found out, because like a 1099, a subcontractor in theory owns their own business.
Right.
Most own a job. They don't own a company. And I'm not knocking that. There's a place for it. Come to find out as we talk to more and more of our installers, because they're very loyal to us, they'd rather be on a W-2 salary that offers 401k, because we offer 401k matching, health insurance, like company paid life insurance, company vehicles, cell phones, just the intangibles that people don't think of that help. Obviously paid time off. So talking to them, most of our team today is W-2. We still have certain 1099 subcontractors, but they're truly by the job because some of the jobs aren't consistent work for us. So if we get a pretty big, like for example, for us in the commercial space, we get a pretty big flooring job in the commercial space. We got the guys that we can call that maybe we can't keep busy all year round. That doesn't make sense for us to bring them in on W-2. Our quality, once we started transitioning to all W-2 and commission-based, our quality of not just installs, atmosphere, morale on the sales floor, and just the overall customer experience, it's a game changer. And I challenge anybody watching this, go look my company up on Facebook, Google. It's MDG Flooring America. You'll see our reviews. They're all organic. And that's one thing we pride ourselves on.